I was cleaning up my freezer yesterday and guess what I found? Something that my husband bought like a long time ago for me to freeze dry for our neighbors, and I apparently never got around to it. So I found this at the bottom of our freezer and today we are gonna freeze dry it. And it's not for our human neighbors, it's for our doggy neighbors. Any guesses on what it is? It is beef liver. My husband was at the butcher however long ago this was, and they had beef liver, and he was like, oh, let's get some and we can freeze dry it. And I totally forgot to. This was frozen. I put it in a sink with warm water to defrost it a little bit so that I can cut it up into pieces. I do this raw. Dogs love just raw beef liver freeze dried. I made this for them a few years ago and they went crazy for it. So the doggies are in for a special treat. So first I am going to just chop up this liver into small little bite-sized pieces that a doggy could enjoy for a snack. You guys, this stuff is so nasty, but it is so good for dogs and they love it. So it's a nice healthy treat, but it does gross me out like crazy. One of the things I absolutely love about owning a freeze dryer is that there are so many uses for it. A lot of people think, oh, you only use a freeze dryer to make freeze-dried candy, or oh, you only need a freeze dryer to preserve vegetables out of your garden, or you only need a freeze dryer to make MRE meals. No, you do all of that. You also can make dog food and dog snacks. I'm telling you, freeze dryers are worth their weight in gold. All right, I'm just cutting these into tiny little bits. This knife is not doing well. I wanted to leave these partially frozen, and some parts are, but this just defrosted so fast in my sink, which is annoying. I freeze dry these completely raw. I don't do any cooking. Dogs can eat raw beef liver, and I know it seems gross, but once it's freeze dried, it's just like a completely dry little meaty treat. It's not gross once it's freeze dried. Just this part is not pleasant. If you're new here, I don't have a dog, so that's why we give these to our neighbors whose dogs absolutely love them. Okay, so here is the plate of liver and here is the other tray. This was such a pain to slice. My hand is like tired from trying to hold the strips of liver in place while I cut them. It would be so much easier if these had stayed frozen for me. So pro tip, which you probably already know, cut these up while they're frozen. I just stuck them into hot water for like 5 minutes and they defrosted very quickly. So the pieces that were still kind of frozen, cut so easily. Let's get these onto our trays. Here are my trays today. Because this area got juicy with liver juice and I don't want my trays to get dirty. I am using a tray liner. These are just cheap ones I got on Amazon. They're the ones that I have clean right now. I'm gonna spread these just around my trays evenly. If they stick together a little, that's okay. They usually break apart just fine, like after they're all dried. You have to really love your dogs to do this because it's not pleasant, but it's worth it, definitely. Have you seen a more appetizing freeze dryer tray? I don't know. I'm gonna take this down to Vanilla Ice. I already got my freeze dryer turned on and cooling, so it should be ready to load. When I get down there, I'll let you know the settings we're using. So my freeze dryer is set to -10-degree freeze temp, and added hour extra of freeze time because this is not pre-frozen. My dry temp is set to 120. And my extra freeze time is set at like 8 hours, and during that period is when I will be checking it to make sure that the liver looks fully freeze dried. And then I will show you how I package it up when I'm packaging it for like doggy treats. Vanilla Ice is locked and loaded. This should take, I'm guessing, around 24 hours. So we will check in tomorrow and see how we're looking. Let me know what other dog treat ideas you guys have. I have heard of people giving like little pieces of freeze-dried chicken for dog treats. But what else do you got? And I guess we can't forget the cats too. If you got any cat treat ideas, leave them in the comments down below. All right, my friends, welcome back to the next day. We are at the 24-hour mark and we have been in the extra dry cycle for about 6 hours. I'm gonna pull this beef liver out and see if it seems dry. Here is how it looks. Seems perfect to me. The puppies are gonna love this. I haven't even told them that I'm making this for the fluffy pups next door. So they are gonna be very excited for this treat. But it smells so bad. So bad. If you don't have a freeze dryer yet, and you'll want one, especially if you got a little puppy you need to make treats for, check the link in my video description below. They're currently brought back the big sale on the size small units. So if you've been on the fence about a freeze dryer and haven't wanted to make the huge investment for like a medium or a large, the size small you can still freeze dry a lot of food in is the biggest discount you'll get. I've got a link in the video description below where you can check them out. Mine is a size medium and I have absolutely loved it, but this is the older model. I only have 4 trays. The new size mediums have 5. The size small has 4. They're just a little bit smaller of a tray than what these trays are here. I have these really large half-gallon size mason jars. I'm really hoping all the liver will fit in here. I mean, it'd be nice if it would fit in a smaller size one, but I don't think it will. Let's see. I like storing snacks like this in a mason jar so that they can just pull the treat out when you want to give the pup a treat and then pop the lid back on. It would be ideal if you have a vacuum jar sealer and that you suck all the air out of this each time you open it. But these treats will still stay fresh for a good amount of time, I have heard. Even just sealing up the jar after each time you use it. But for ideal freshness and longer term, vacuum sealing out the top is best. And I'm sorry, no, you're not getting a taste test of this today. Okay, I changed my mind. I decided to put them in 2 pint, is this a pint or a quart? Whatever. Mason jars, the larger size, so that when they are starting on 1 jar of treats, they're not exposing oxygen to all of them. I feel like they're just gonna stay fresh longer by separating them into 2 jars instead of all of them in 1 big jar. So here is how I vacuum seal the top. Did I stuff this too full? Come on. Stick the lid on there. I might have made this too full. Let's see if we can make it work. Okay, so then I let my jar sucker suck all the air out for a good 60 seconds, and then I'll take the lid off and see if it seems like it's airtight. All right, let's see. I think we're good. We're good. Totally worked. Now we just got 1 more to do. I seriously love this thing. Once I got a freeze dryer, I realized how valuable these air suckers are. It's not an air sucker, a vacuum jar sealer. I think we're good. So I will have this linked down below. This is, I think, a must-have accessory if you own a freeze dryer. All right, for about 60 seconds, let's check this one. All good. Sven and Strudel are gonna be so happy for their treats. One day, our family will get a dog. It's just not in the cards yet. Look at this. Such a great gift that you could make for your friends or family members who have pets. They, I know, would be so grateful to receive something like this. This was a super easy, successful freeze drying run. I mean, I didn't enjoy cutting up the beef liver. That was not great, but suffer through that part because this part is so easy. Thank you all so much for being here. Make sure you are subscribed to Freeze Dry Society so you can see all of the fun things that I do with my freeze dryer. And let me know if you got any questions. I appreciate all of you for being here and watching my videos. Remember, when you freeze dry today, you secure your tomorrow. Bye, friends.